I absolutely agree with John Mozeliak, the president of baseball operations with the Cardinals. I don't like managers going into lame duck years. I've explained on Nothing Personal why I don't like it. I feel as though it can somehow usurp the power of the manager in the clubhouse. I feel as though that managers may manage differently and go full Girardi, where every day is game 7 of the World Series. You generally want a manager to understand the ebbs and flows. You want a manager to stay relatively calm, not too many ups and downs. It's a very, very long season. But one thing that we always knew with our managers is when we were going to extend and when we weren't. And I always love to pay at least 2 managers. Love fiery managers and paying extra managers not to manage. It was my specialty. I was absolutely taken aback this weekend when the Cardinals agreed to extend their manager, Oli Marmol. There was no particular reason for that. They underperformed last year by a lot. There is a risk they will underperform again this year, though they certainly had an offseason where they tried to plug holes with rubber arm pitchers from Sonny Gray on down the line. So they have a chance to get innings. But there's something about that team. And I went south, and I love St. Louis. You know I do. But I went south ever since Nolan Arenado came out and talked about the lack of leadership and how they're counting on Matt Carpenter. But for whatever reason, they extended Marmol's contract. And then the reason given is the most important thing for Oli, is what Mozeliak said, the coaches or the players, is to know that we stand behind them. We believe in them. To go into the season as a lame duck manager just seemed to be the wrong strategy. I'm sorry, you just had that epiphany this spring? Did you have a complete change in what your philosophy was because you watched the team and said, oh, let's do something to help them because they're helping us? Oh, we built this team to be competitive. The offseason moves were done months ago. What possibly could have changed? I have a theory. It is a weak executive, and I've been guilty. It is a weak executive that gets met by players. Players go up to you and say, hey, we need this. Please do that. Please take care of our manager. Take care of this player. Take care of this coach. Take care of a suite on the road. Take care of tickets for my family and the people who are not my family but want to be. You think players went up to John and said, hey, let's extend Oli? Do you think Bill DeWitt, the owner, said, oh, I really don't want a lame duck manager. Let's extend him right now? I don't think any of that happened. I think John may have just looked at his situation and said, I probably should have done this earlier. I got permission from DeWitt to blow out the money because he's likely not going to be with us through the extension. So why don't we just do it now? But the timing was very bizarre. What if the Cardinals get off to a slow start and they're 5-18? Do you still have that same vote of confidence for your manager after a bad season last year when people assume that he starts this year on the hot seat? Do you think the articles of him on the hot seat go away because he has an extension? There is almost an inverse correlation between getting an extension like this in spring training and being off the hot seat. None of it makes sense to me. So then he thought to himself, John was elected, how do I address what Samson's going to say on Nothing Personal? And so he did. We just don't want something where if we stumbled or got off to a slow start, all of a sudden everybody is looking over their shoulders. It's just not fair to everybody involved. The timing of this, as we started thinking more and more about it, had to be dealt with now, not something mid-season or at the end of the year. Horse hockey. That's literal horse hockey. I mean, sort of literal. I guess there aren't horses playing hockey. But you're telling me that now when the team gets off to a slow start, you'll stand behind the extension and say, don't worry, everyone, keep calm. It's like the marching band leader in Animal House. There's no way you're going to keep calm when people are piling up at the wall. All right, what's next? Wait to see when I tell you something's going to happen. If it does, great. If it doesn't, fine. Let me give you a wait to see right now. The Cardinals have an over-under, according to DraftKings, of 84.5. 1, the Cardinals will go under. 2, Marmol will not make it through this extension, thereby making this extension a total waste of money. Wait to see.